gets on.
Okay.
Part of the fun of growing older is not only watching young people achieve, but also in taking part in honoring that achievement. Without young people, there would be precious little for us old people to support, to encourage, to take pride in. And when you achieve, you give great meaning to that support. Therefore, your success is not just an individual, personal, narrowly limited act. Your success keeps alive something very important to all of us, and that is our belief in you, our trust in you, our hope in you. As my husband remarked at the Superior Students' Convocation, your parents must have passed on some mighty good genetic material to you, and you have shown good sense in using that material. One good thing that never changes as you get older is that genetic material that is you. Your skin will change, your hair will decide to quit, your senses may slow down, but nothing, I suppose, short of severe radiation, will change that genetic material. You really have quite an anchor to hold onto right within yourself. There are so many wonderful things about getting older that it would take more time than we have this evening to elaborate on them all. The motto is never fear each added year, and for goodness sakes, don't fall victim to that silly and unrealistic fantasy of trying to be taken for your daughter's sister or your son's daughter or whatever it is those ads are always pushing. Those ads cheat. Of all the things I love about growing older, such as not having to explain to someone everywhere why, how, and what that one is doing, being able to work for one's own money, being given more responsibilities, which challenge feeling the satisfaction which comes when one can start giving instead of always having to take, such as having deeper understanding, broader tolerance of all these things. The thing I love most is finally realizing an emerging pattern which reveals exciting new pleasures at every stage. By far, the best one I have discovered rather recently is the pleasure of becoming eccentric. Now, this really is one you simply have to wait for, because if you become eccentric too young, they'll come and lock you up. It is only after you have become harmless, that is, no threat to anyone's ego, which takes a certain number of years, that you can afford this luxury and be left alone. Without knowing it, some of you may even be on your way to a really great eccentricity right now, especially if you are a collector. But full-fledged, idiotic eccentricity takes time and money and travel, hence one has to be older because these things just normally do not come to us when we are young. I have a collection, and I am quite eccentrically involved with it, so much so that it must be the theme of my talk to you. The title of this talk is, Even Seashells Sing When You Listen. For the collector, every shell has its own song to sing, but non-collectors also hear the music of certain shells again. I could take until midnight expounding upon the inspiration shells have given to artists, architects, decorators of cabinets, china, boxes, of their symbolism in religions, and of their scientific and even therapeutic value. But because time allows you to listen to the song of only one, I have chosen to have you listen to my favorite, the chambered Nautilus CN. As I now call him, is my favorite because its life's unfolding is such a magnificent story of how a human soul does or should unfold. If you have been lucky enough to have had a biology teacher who knew English, or an English teacher who knew biology, you are already familiar with the Nautilus. The biology part of a teacher explains that this half, brown-striped, calcium-covered mollusk lives crawling around in the mud. at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Sometimes it rises to ride the surface waves and to bask in the sunshine, at which time it simply flips over, using its own shell as a perfect boat and its body for oars. A sectioned nautilus reveals the great beauty and symmetry of its interior. The baby mollusk begins its life here in a tiny chamber about 1/4 around. As he outgrows the chamber, he builds another exactly 1/3 larger than the one he vacates. And although he himself is sealed off and can never crawl back to a previous chamber, he carries a siphon through the wall of each chamber, which enables him to fill the chambers with water for submerging or to empty them so that they function as air chambers when he wishes to surface. With steel wool and gentle patience, the outer covering of the shell may be moved to expose the beautiful purity of mother of pearl.
Okay, so to humor me again, well, does the light turn off?